Hey guys, welcome to the recap of the final round at Lanta Open, an international chess tournament I'm participating. In the last round, I was facing a young prodigy from Singapore called Gnanasikar Aditya. He's rated around 1800, but obviously underrated, very talented junior player. And I need a draw or a win to secure the second place, because the first place is unreachable. The guy from Malta, whom I was playing a couple of days ago, whom I drew, he is guaranteed to take the first place, and I need a draw or a win to get the second. I'm playing with the black pieces, so let's see if I manage to cope with this. The game was really interesting. You should check it out, and very instructive, especially the endgame. So my opponent opened up with one d4, surprising me because he usually goes for one c4. He probably prepared for me. He blitzed out the opening moves. I played the Slav defense. And this is the theoretical position that occurred. And here I remembered that there is such a line with queen b3, but it's not the most popular move. And I spent some time recalling what I should do here. But I think I recalled everything correctly. I went for queen b6. He went for c5. And here I took. So the idea is that white gets this open A file and gets an annoying advance of the pawns, which could be dangerous if black doesn't know what to do. But I recalled what I have to do. I put my knight on b7, on d7, and then I went a6. So the idea is that he still can go b5, because I cannot obviously take with the a pawn due to this pin, but I can take with the c4 pawn. He takes. Again, I cannot take because of this pin, but I can just move my rook to c8, and now I'm threatening to take. So he has to retreat. And it is a little bit more pleasant to play with white this position, because this pawn is backwards, this b7 pawn. It cannot go forward because it will get taken. And this pawn is very strong, and it restricts my bishop. So my bishop ideally would want to be on this diagonal, but it cannot get there. But still, I thought I should be okay. Once I castle and challenge this pawn with maybe e5 or b6, everything's going to work out just fine for me. So I just develop bishop e7, he goes bishop g2. Here I was a little bit afraid of knight h4 with attempts to win my bishop for his knight. So I went h6, he went h3. I didn't really understand this move, not really a challenging one. And I jumped with my pony to the center of the board, knight e4. He goes g4, but I just slide back, and I'm not afraid of his pawn advancement. This only weakens the dark squares around his king. He goes bishop f4, and here I castle. And I thought I should be fine in this position with accurate play, but still, around this time I offered him a draw, because I was playing with the title in mind, with the second place in mind, and I wanted to secure it. So a draw would have been a good result for me, but he declined. So we continued playing, and here I decided to not stand idly, not just wait for his attack. I thought that one possible plan for white could be rotating the knight to this square and pressing my b7 pawn, or rotating the rook and pressing my pawn. That could get unpleasant if I do nothing, so I decided to initiate some counterplay, and I went for f5, which is a mistake according to computer, but not a fatal one. It's like closer to an inaccuracy. It doesn't really change the evaluation of the position, and once the computer thinks a little bit longer about this move, it says it's the best move, so it's not a mistake. On higher depths, it says it's the best move. Interesting. Chess.com's engine sometimes changes its mind. So he took, I took, and I'm pretty fine in this position, I thought. He jumped in with his knight to e5. I exchanged. Remember that the draw is fine for me, so exchanges favor me in this position, and I want to exchange everything here. So here, initially, I thought that I could get some interesting counterplay once he takes, and I take here, thinking that I could take here next if he retreats and with a pawn. But he could just take here, and once I take, he could activate his rook to the B file, and that could get unpleasant. So I decided against this, and the computer agrees. Also here, I was calculating some variations like knight d2, but that could get tragic because, yes, I'm attacking the rook moves here, and the logical move here would be knight c4, taking the bishop and the pawn. But here, a very unpleasant tactical shot was not missed by me. I'd seen this because that's why I didn't go for this line. Knight takes d5. So if I take, this is a check and a fork, and black loses. So, and if I don't take, the bishop is hanging. It's not a pleasant position. So this is why I did not go for knight d2. I went for a cautious bishop f6, trying to exchange the pieces. And the pieces here are flying off the board. Also interesting, the computer thinks that this taking with the pawn is a mistake. Why? Maybe it doesn't like my pawn structure, but still the position is around equal. I didn't want to take with the knight because that would be a retreating move. The computer says that taking with the rook is best, but if we compare this with the variation that happened in the game, I think that my pawns are better. Humanly speaking, computer thinks that I'm stupid. I'm a moron. So anyway, we exchanged everything, and I was pretty confident that this is a drawn endgame. But he tried playing it for a win. He went rook a3, not the most accurate move. I just attack his pawn. He defends it, and I blow open the center. Yes, this is a pawn sacrifice. He can take. I take. He takes. But here I just can go like rook f5, for example, and this pawn will be gobbled next, and it will be absolute equality. So he did not go for that. He went rook a4, defending the pawn. But here I was pretty confident that he is playing not the best moves, because moving the rook first to a3 and then to a4, losing a tempo, it cannot be the best strategy. So I go rook d5, putting even more pressure. He goes rook b4, trying to take this pawn, but I take one time here and just defend here. And I think the position is absolutely equal at this point. The computer agrees, 0.0. He attacks my pawn, I defend it. He develops the king, and I put more pressure on the d4 pawn, and already I'm really liking my position. So here, his rook is really awkward, really clumsy, and he cannot defend this pawn properly with rook d1, because I can just take, and if he takes, I will take this rook. Yes, he will take this pawn, but still it will be an equal position. But after thinking for a little bit, I decided I don't even need to go into these complications. I'm fine with a draw, and I went f4, just restricting him, not allowing him any movement with the king, and the rooks are tied to the defense of this pawn, so I was confident that I'm outplaying already him. He went rook a1. If I take, he can take here, and this will be a better version for him. So I protect this pawn. He goes rook b6, trying to take this pawn, but I'm fine with exchanging my h6 pawn for his d4 pawn. And here I find an active, good move, rook d2. Now I'm threatening e3 and some nasty stuff on the second rank. Rooks are generally very powerful on the second rank. If you can put them there, you should do it. So here the position could get unpleasant for white, although it's still equal according to the computer. He goes rook h4. And I find the move f3 check, one of the best moves. Still, it's equal, but it could get unpleasant. For example, if he goes here, this loses to e3, a very strong move. If he takes here, this is a check, and he loses a rook. And if he takes here, I have this rook d1 check. The only move for him is here, and I take and go f2. And I queen next move, and this is winning. So that was one of the possibilities. So after f3 check, the only good move for him is, well, two good moves actually, king g3 or king f1. He went king f1. But here I just took his pawn, and he took my pawn. We exchanged, and here I had around 10 minutes, and I was calculating the pawn endgame that could arise after rook b1 check. And I concluded that this is a draw because he can block, and this is what could have happened. This is what I was calculating. Check, takes, king moves to this pawn, but his king also moves. And we get this position. And here I go a5. He takes, I take. But he has the h pawn, which serves as a deflector for my king. I go here. He goes king b6. I go here. He takes. I go here. And he's just in time to take my pawn. Or maybe not necessarily, yes, to take it, but it will be a draw. So this will be a drawn endgame. I calculated until this moment, and I thought, okay, I will not win this. Maybe in this position, exchanging the rooks like this is not the best strategy because his king is so weak. I can try to play for a win. Already, I'm fine with a draw, but why not play for a win? And I went rook c2, which is the best move. And already the position of white is not pleasant. He went rook e5, which is a mistake, but unfortunately, I did not punish him for that. I immediately went a5, which is a miss. According to the computer, I could have won like this. Check, and then takes. It's not difficult, but I had already like 2 minutes, and I didn't want to spend much time on my move, so I went a5 immediately without thinking. So that was a missed opportunity for me. She went king e1. Now these tricks with rook c1 no longer work, but I go a4, and my pawn is marching. It's very, very dangerous, very frightening. Check, I go up, he goes here. And he wants to take my pawn, but I do not allow that. I go rook a2. This is objectively equal, but very unpleasant to play with white. He goes king d1. I bring my king closer, king f7. You might ask why I didn't put my king here in the first place after this check by the rook. Rook e8. Why did I go king g7? Because I was afraid that he can go here and take my pawn with a check. That was the idea. And now he cannot do that, so I am comfortable with putting my king on this file. So he goes king c1, and apparently this already is losing. I go king e6, centralizing my king, h4, and here many moves are winning, including the one that I made. Rook takes f2. He takes the a pawn, and here the winning moves are king f5, or rook e2. Unfortunately, something happened around this moment. I had like 30 seconds on my clock, and I was like, rook 2 is winning. Because I want to go here, check, and queen, and he cannot stop that. But I completely forgot that he has this rook f4. And apparently now it's a draw. Rook endgames are complicated. So I go f2, he goes here, and he's just in time to stop my pawn. I take his c5 pawn, but he takes my f pawn, and it's a dead draw. We shuffle a little bit, and here we agree to a draw. So I spoiled that opportunity. That was a difficult rook endgame, but I had not enough time. So it's okay, I guess. I still get the second place in this tournament. I gained some rating points. I had some nice wins and no losses. So it was an interesting ride. See you in the next recaps of my next tournaments. I guess I'll take a couple of days off now to relax and to spend some time in the sunny Thailand, relaxing after this tournament. Well-deserved rest. Drop your comments if you like the video, and bye-bye.